Hello and welcome to New Filmmakers Los Angeles in partnership with Movie Maker magazine. My name is Danny DeLillo and we're here at Sunset Gower Studios in Hollywood, and I'm delighted to be joined with Lux with his fantastic movie, next week, I promise you, Palmeiras. Let's take a look at the clip.
Qual é o caminho certo?
Calunga. Calunga é o único caminho possível para voltar a Palmares.
So, Next Week I Promise You Palmares is a short film that I directed with my friends in our independent company production, Madrugada Filmes. And it's like a very different kind of movie, even for Brazil, because we tell the story of two historical figures, Zumbi and Dandara dos Palmares. They were runaway slaves, and they create their own community in slavery period. But as a sci-fi, the film starts when the consciousness of these people enters the body of a black couple in 21st century. So it makes parallels to the discrimination, the violence, but also the conquest of black people in my country.
Well, look, I was, from the very get-go, the first scene, the opening scene in the bed, I was like transfixed on these characters that you create. It was absolutely amazing. But firstly, can we just say thank you so much from coming from Sao Paulo, Brazil, to be with us here in LA, and how grateful we are and how wonderful it is to have your film within our film festival. So thank you in the first place for coming here as well. This is a brilliant story, and like honestly, from the get-go with these two characters, it was like mesmerizing from what you created and what you envisioned. Where did the inspiration come for you in deciding to turn this really, really great idea into a film?
So, I'm a really geek nerd and I love superhero stuffs. And in Brazil, me and Ika, the writer, we are very close friends, and we keep telling about like what is our heroes and why doesn't they super. So we took Zumbi and Dandara like two historical heroes in our culture, and we try to transform that to super kind of heroes. So that's why they speak with telepathy. They also teleport sometimes in the movies, and that's why we are really excited to continue this work, because in Brazil we don't have so many science fiction or things that needed special effects, because the budget is very low to independent productions.
Well, you did a great job with that. But you know, this is also two historical figures, you know, from Brazil, and you know, unquestionably doesn't get spoken about enough in the 21st century. So I love that you brought these 17th century into life for the 21st century, and bring into an important story, not only to Brazil, but for the rest of the world to know about these historical figures. Knowing their background of the characters, like what did you want your audience to take from your film, and you know, in terms of education as well as entertainment?
So it was like to make reflections about how nowadays we in Brazil, we have a huge racism system. We have discrimination and violence and sexism, and that things started on the colonization. So making the parallels to these figures in slavery, and nowadays it's like, okay, how is the system working for us, black people, black women, black transgender people? And so it was some things like that, but also with the community that we always bring, the community that black people has in Africa, and we talk a lot of ancestrality too. So it's not just the discrimination, but also the things that they really conquest in their own way, not a system way, but a unique way. Actually, it's very special for me to bring these characters in, how you said, to make people in here and in all over the countries know them.
Yeah, absolutely. And you did a significant job of making that, and I love that you're contributing to that as a storyteller as well for Brazil and the world. One of the things that obviously I loved in the development of these characters was just how they were transformed from like these 17th century in these 21st century bodies, and like all these amazing effects from just how they looked to how they interacted. How did you work as a director with these characters, and like what's your kind of process?
So the script has already many things in it. It was like very large in special effects, and it was the challenge was reading it and imagining how we could do special effects, like just with lighting stuffs or cameras movements and that kind of stuff without special effects in the post-production, really. But we had a friend that makes the finalization perfectly, and the characters they were for us essentially superheroes. Like they were superheroes in their time, because they have to be warriors, they have to be like doctors, because they have to cure themselves, they have to feed themselves, and living in a world that doesn't really want you there. It was like slavery was awful. And for me as a Black transgender woman, it was like, okay, how here, and me as a Black transgender woman, I'm always suffering a lot in Brazil too. So it was like, okay, how these characters in their time could be superhero. Like I can be a superhero too if I want in my life.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so I think that's it. Like these characters, I see myself in it very much. I see my friends in it very much, and they were references to us, and we are making our own reference today.
100%.
In Brazil, we'd say a lot of that in Black culture, in queer culture, and I think that's what's happening right now.
Absolutely, and thank you for sharing that. Listen, I'm so proud of what you are doing as a filmmaker in Brazil, and you just leading the way and with your great storytelling. But it's so special to have you spread international, and I'm so happy that you're here. What was it like, especially, we're so proud of you at NewFilmmakers LA, but to be part of a Brazil program, furthermore, a Latinx program, and then with the Academy, like how was that experience for you?
It's been a huge experience. Like we all in Brazil and the Latin ones had industry meetings all the week, and filmmaking in here is very different from Brazil. So getting to know how things happens here is like, okay, I'm actually enjoying it. Like I'm actually really excited about getting back to know more, to study more. And I personally didn't think about it studying abroad before, but now I'm really excited about it, because I think here it's the world of filmmaking. Like Hollywood is a dream for us in Brazil, and pursuing this dream is like a huge thing. All of my friends, my colleagues, my co-workers in Brazil, my family, they are very, very happy and proud of us. Yeah. And our company, it's just in the beginning. We have like 4 years of existence. We have 3 short films and a web series with 5 episodes. And it's a lot of things, but it's just the beginning. We are very excited to develop our stories, our way of create movies as well.
Kudos to you. Well done to you, honestly. And like, Brazil has some amazing films and filmmakers, but if you do come over here, always give it the essence of looks. Like, give your style of film to Hollywood, okay? Because that's what we need. So you kind of alluded to it. What is next for you?
Oh, I don't know. I will have a lot of meetings with my independent production company to reorganize our projects and we have like a lot of ideas, but we have to put these ideas on paper. We are doing it, but I think even in collective style, we are doing it in individual ways. So I'm going to talk to them like how we can help each other to make our scripts, our stories gain and conquer other places, like not just here in US, but Latin America. I know now and a lot of new programs and a lot of new festivals that I intended to submit my work and somehow make movies. Like in Brazil is essentially in public fundings, and in here it's very different. So how could we get the money without public needs to do it? I think it's my challenge to think about it right now and reorganize and just do.
Well, I mean, I think whatever you put your heart to, it's going to be, you're going to fight for it and it's going to be wonderful. But lastly, to finish on, Lux, if there is any advice as a filmmaker that you could share with our filmmaking audience, what do you go by? What is, as an artist, like, what kind of advice would you share with other filmmakers that want to follow in your footsteps?
We have to be strong and not giving up is like, I think, the best advice that I can give. Because like I said, in Brazil, we have a lot of reasons to give up. So not giving up is like the first thing that you have to do. And be persistent, be insistent, find another people like you. It's very cool too, so you don't do it individually and you don't get to feel so like lonely when you are doing your work. I think finding a group of people and making the persistence is like the way to get in the places. And I don't know, like, we are already filmmakers. We are already big artists. I think we have to think about ourselves in a big way to conquer big things.
Absolutely.
So I think that's my advice for you guys.
I think you can achieve anything, Lux. I feel like you've got it, and I feel that's a special quality that you have, not to mention, making fantastic film. Well, listen, we are so grateful, so happy that you're here with us, and we can't wait to see the next projects that you create for us in the world. So thank you so much, and we really appreciate you.
I really appreciate it too.